My screen time is trash, currently sitting at 11 hours a day. So naturally, I decided to lock my phone away for 12 hours with no screens, just read. And you might be wondering what I'll be reading today. I'm going to see how much of It by Stephen King I can get through in 12 hours with zero distractions. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I'm scared of clowns. This could either be an amazing idea or a terrible idea. I decided to do this last night, and I was talking to Anthony about it because this is probably one of his favorite books by Stephen King. And I don't know, I just kept saying that I was super nervous and really scared to read this book. I've seen the movies, so I have an understanding of the story. But I also am very much aware that it is not the same as the books per se. And I am terrified of the clown. And I feel like I am just going to visualize, I don't remember what his name is, but the remade version, the remake, I'm going to envision him the entire time I'm reading this book. And that's, oh my God, I don't know. I'm scared. I don't want to have nightmares or anything. So pray for me. 12 hours locking in. Oh my God. Okay, so what's the time right now? It's currently 9:17. So we're going to say 9:20 is when the 12-hour mark starts. Oh my God. Also, I apologize in advance. I'm trying to muster up as much energy as possible, but I am dealing with being sick. I don't know what is going around. It is not a fun time. Keep having these moments where I'm like, oh, I think I'm feeling better. And then I start doing stuff and my body's like, sit down. And I'm like, oh, right. Yeah, not feeling better yet. Okay. So it gives me plenty more reason to sit down and read this. Massive. I mean, massive. Why? Why, Stephen King? Why is this so big? What is the page count? I think it's 1,100 and some odd pages. 1,153 pages. 1,100 page book. I don't know if I've read a book that big before. I've put my phone away in the drawer, which means we can officially start the 12-hour timer, and it is currently 9:20, so that means by 9:20 tonight, the timer will be over. I would have completed 12 hours, no screens, just reading. I'm interested to see how that is going to work. And I normally like to listen to music while I read, so now I'm kind of is that allowed? Because sometimes, I know this might sound weird to some people, but sometimes for me, in order to focus, I need the music. I've always been that way. Is it cheating if I'm not going to use my phone. I won't use my phone. We'll decide if we need the music or not. I might be so hooked into this book that I don't even need any music. So I need to eat food, and I really should make some tea because I feel horrible. Oh my gosh. I hope you guys are staying healthy out there and enjoying your day. Please try your best not to get sick. This is very random, but normally I like to have a bookmark that matches my book, and I'm quite tempted to make an It bookmark really fast. Should we do that? Yeah. Wait. But normally I make it on my iPad. Okay, scratch that. We can't do that. So we will wait. I'll make one of those after this challenge. And I'll show you guys the end result at the end of the video. The terror, which would not end for another 28 years, if ever did end, began, so far as I know or can tell, with a boat made from a sheet of newspaper floating down a gutter swollen with rain. Reading the first sentence of this book and just knowing I was about to fall into Derry, into these kids, into Pennywise, that feeling when a book grabs you in the first line, that's what this is. I can already tell this book is going to be really fun to read. His writing is so descriptive and unique, and I can visually see everything that he's saying. I think it probably also helps that I've seen the movie, so I understand what that's meant to look like. But this is a random question, but is it supposed to be like a metaphor for like things that like kids fear? Like, because he's used the word "it" here a couple of times, and I don't want to say it's necessarily in reference of like the actual clown, but it is in reference of like fearing something. Just wondering. Okay, I actually moved to my bed for this part. My body just ached, and I needed to be somewhere soft. And then I hit Stan's story, and I don't think I prepared how much I'd feel for his wife. That panic, that helplessness. I had to just sit with it for a second. Okay, I do have to mention that there has been some turn of events, because clearly I'm in something different. I am so not feeling well today. I had to take another shower just because my body was aching so bad. My sinuses were giving me like a sinus pressure headache thing. I don't know. Today I feel worse than I did yesterday, but I'm glad that I'm able to be in the bed and I can just rest. So, with that being said, I have made some pretty good progress on the book. I'm currently on page 96, so I'm almost 100 pages into the book. We are now in Eddie's perspective, which from the movies, I loved Eddie as a character. I don't know why he just felt so relatable, but his mom drove me absolutely crazy. But yeah, so we're in his perspective right now, and I'm having a good time reading that. And of course, he would marry someone that's basically his mom. I will say though, between not feeling well and reading this is making for such a good distraction from not being able to use my phone. I can definitely say there have been moments that are more challenging. Like, I have had a few moments where I've wanted to play music while I'm reading this book, and I've decided that I'm just not going to do that. So that's been a little bit difficult. I also, like I said earlier, just feel weird not being able to check like any like text messages or anything like that. So that's been also kind of weird to pull myself away from. And oddly enough, I feel weird that I can't go on YouTube. That has been probably the biggest thing and the hardest thing to deal with, because I am normally on YouTube all the time, whether it is for my own content or because I'm just consuming content. It's just been weird. Anyway, I think I'll read just a few more pages and then take a nap. I'll update you soon. What am I on, chapter 4? I've been reading so slow today, to be honest. It's just been taking my brain a while to like comprehend what's going on because of how like unwell I feel, but I am enjoying it. And right now we are in Ben's perspective, and Ben, I feel like it's safe to say Ben is probably my favorite character in this book, in terms of like the kids. I just think he's so sweet and he means well, and just like his whole character arc throughout the entire story is so, it's heartwarming to see someone go from being the bullied kid in school to being like super rich and famous, which is, I don't know, it's just an interesting take. But I am currently now on page 189, 7, and I don't know, I would like to get to like the 300 page mark if I can. That would be nice. It would be super cool if I could get here, but we are not. That would mean I'd have this much to read, and I've only read this much, and it is currently 6:43. It is now the early evening. The sun is finally setting, which means we have pretty much an hour left until this 12 hours is over. Honestly, it hasn't been horrible without my phone. I think, for one, if I had to go out and about and do things, that would make things really difficult for me because I only ever really use my phone as a payment, GPS, just kind of everything. And so I think that would be more challenging, and I would notice it a lot more if I was out in public, because sometimes I don't even remember to bring my wallet, to be honest, and that is not a good habit. But I will say, all in all, I feel like I've done pretty well. The first half of the day, I think, was the hardest part because I just kept having it in the back of my head that I was probably getting like text messages that I couldn't respond to, and that made me feel really on edge and actually quite anxious, which sounds to me like, when I'm saying it out loud, that sounds kind of silly to feel, I guess, anxious about that, but like, whatever. It's become a way of life, and so it's to be expected that that is going to cause some anxiety. I feel a little bit better than I did, I think, the last time I checked in with you guys. I did have to get myself dressed so I could go out and walk the dog. In terms of the book, I am trucking along here. I have a goal to reach at least the 300 page mark before the evening is out, and I think I'm at a good pace to be able to do that because I'm currently on page 267, so not that much more to go to reach that. And I think with an hour left, we could probably do that if I just lock in. It's been really, really difficult for me to read today. It's been really, really difficult for me to read today. But now that my body's not hurting me as bad, I think I can handle this. I can handle this. I do think, though, I want to shower. This will be my third shower of the day. Not that anybody asked, but like, besides the Tylenol, that's the only other thing that's like soothing my body aches and also clearing out my sinuses. What a great day, though. Like, when I think about it, other than being sick, today was really nice. It was so nice just to be able to lay in bed and read. And I am really enjoying this book. Am I one of those people that's going to read this book in 24 hours? Nope. I just don't think that I could do that. At least definitely not today, but I don't know if I would even want to do that. That sounds extremely intense for no reason. The book is already pretty intense to me. Like, there's been some scenes where I'm kind of like, oh, there was actually just a scene, this last scene that I was reading with Eddie, and like, oh, it's there, and he's like, I don't know if I can find something here. Let me see if I can find something distinct. Yeah, so like this part here, it says,
Yellow teeth gleamed, and somewhere way back in that darkness, things seemed to be squirming. Eddie, I came to see you, Eddie.
like, that's creepy. I don't know. And it's like always when people are alone, always when you're alone, do those things happen. It's freaking, I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, I will share this. Let me actually do it this way because the lighting is not good right now. But earlier today, when I was first getting things like going and setting up, and I was just like popping in and letting you know what the plan was, I was moving the tripod and trying to set it up so that it was like facing the couch. And I swear, out of the corner of my eye in the kitchen, I just saw something like flash by, and I literally jumped out of my skin because I was like, oh my God, what the heck was that? I turned and looked and I thought, okay, maybe it was Anthony. He walked past and he's in the kitchen. And I was like, there's nobody in the kitchen. So then I continued to do what I'm doing. And then I swear I see it again. And I'm like, yo, too soon. Too soon. I had like this vision of, I think it's in the second book. I think it's in the second movie where Beverly goes back to her like childhood home, and there's an older, I don't remember what her name is, but there's an older lady that's there, and she's like in the kitchen making a cup of tea, and then you just kind of see her like scurrying across. That's what it felt like to me. And I immediately was like, what have I gotten myself into? What am I doing? Do I want to do this? And then I was like, yeah, we're gonna do it anyways. Oh my gosh. And now that it's getting dark and I was reading that scene, guys, I don't know. Should I continue to read tonight and just like see how I like do even after the 12 hours is over? Kind of just want to see what it's like to read this book at night. Guys, it has officially been completed. The 12 hours is over. It is now 9:29. And honestly, the second that my phone, or that the 12-hour window was up, I grabbed my phone and checked all of my text messages. Had quite a few. I actually had a friend coming back from a long flight today. So I wanted to make sure that she did end up getting home safely. But all is well. Only thing is, there has been a turn of events. My mother-in-law ended up going to the emergency room. So she's left to go there. And yeah, I am currently now in the house by myself, which I did end up texting Anthony because it's like 9:30. I'm like, where are you? Because I'm getting anxious. Mostly because the book is, there's just been moments now that have been like a little bit more nerve-wracking for me. It is appearing quite a bit now. It's kind of been appearing throughout the entire book in little like sprinkles, but I feel like the last couple of chapters have just felt a little bit more on the eerie side that I'm just like, oh. So I'm currently in my bedroom with the door closed and locked because I just don't, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I just feel so, I like literally can't put it into words. It makes me feel just on edge, and I think nervous is the best way that I can put it. I will say though, I did make it to my goal. I wanted to get to, wow, what is happening? I wanted to get at least to the 300 page mark. Did that make sense? I don't know what's going on. My brain is not really cooperating right now. And I did do that. I did get to page 316. So I think I only have a couple of pages left before I'm on chapter 8. Yeah. So I'm just going to try to finish that up before I end reading for the night. But honestly, that feels like a pretty good dent for the day. And although I could have probably pushed myself to read more, I just didn't feel great for majority of the afternoon. And so there were quite a few times where I just had to put the book down and just lay here and close my eyes because I was dealing with a pretty bad headache. I couldn't take any medication because I had taken some not that long ago. And it was a dilemma, but it's been fun. It's been fun. It's been real. It's been difficult. It's been challenging. The hardest part of being away from my phone is just not being able to check my notifications. But other than that, it's been good to part with for a little while. So I'm gonna wrap this up by answering just a few questions to summarize this whole experience. First, 3 honest takeaways from the day. I would say the first one is it was just really good to not have all of the noise that I get from my devices, but more specifically from my phone. It's a constant distraction that I already knew existed, but when you don't have access to it, you notice it way more how often you get distracted because now all of a sudden you feel like you have all of this time to yourself to do the things that you need to do. And it's kind of like, I had a lot of moments where I was like, okay, now what? And then I would just be like, you know what, let's just pick up the book or let me just lay here and close my eyes. And I didn't listen to music while reading, which was a new experience for me. That is my second honest takeaway. That was hard. Not being able to listen to music while I was reading felt weird. Only because I've convinced myself, I think, enough to feel like I need the music to set the tone or to help me focus, which I do think it does tend to help me focus. But I also think that there are a lot of times where I probably don't even realize that it is maybe even causing a distraction from me reading. So that was hard. That was a hard thing to kind of give up. And the last takeaway I have is I think putting my phone in another room, or in this case, in a drawer in another room. Well, I guess I was in the room with it. But basically putting my phone somewhere where it's out of sight, out of mind made this a little bit easier. Because it kind of gets to a point, at least for me, you reach a point where you're not thinking about it because it's not there. It's not in front of your face. You're not seeing the phone light up or vibrate or, make a sound with all the different notifications. Although my phone never makes any sound other than vibrating because I cannot stand the sound of notifications. That is a little fun fact. I just cannot stand the sound. But I will say, I think if my phone was out and I could see the notifications coming through, that would have made it really challenging. And I think would have made me want to grab my phone, and I probably would have failed quite a few times. Now, the real question I know everybody wants to know, was it actually scary? Yes. In certain points of the book, I wouldn't say scary. It just gave me like the chills, like I kind of felt like this eerie, ominous vibe that just makes you feel really, makes you feel really unsettled and uncomfortable. And I felt that a few times in the beginning, but more so the last couple of chapters that I was reading is where I felt it the most, where I was kind of like, oh, especially I think because nightfall was upon us and things get a little bit more quiet. Now I'm in the house by myself and I was kind of like, ugh, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. So yes, I would say for me, this did get to be a little bit uneasy. I think even now when I think about it, I'm like, I want to finish the last couple pages, but like, I think I'm stalling a little bit 'cause I'm a little nervous. Now I'm a little bit nervous. Would I do this again though? Yes, I would do this again. I think it would be fun to try this again, but in like real, I was going to say real life. This is real life, but like a normal everyday for me. So meaning like I could go out and do things and like see what that experience would be like. Oh my God. I'm literally thinking like if I went to go somewhere, I would really need to remember to bring my wallet and everything. Because sometimes I do actually forget to bring mine. And then I'm always like, oh, well, got my phone. I'm good. Yeah, that would not be fun, especially like if I went out to eat or something and I needed to pay. It might be good to have your wallet. So I think I would try this again. I definitely would try this again. And I would like to see what other things I could fill my time with than just reading a book. Like, what is it like outside in the real world with no headphones on, going out and exploring whatever it is, you know? So I don't know if you guys would be interested in seeing something like that. You want to see me do this again? Tell me, could you put your phone down for 12 hours? Be honest. And what would you read if you did? I'm definitely going to be doing more of these experiments. I have so much fun at doing them. So if you want to come along for whatever I try next, make sure you subscribe so you do not miss it. Thank you guys so much for being here with me today and spending this 12-hour sick day readathon. That was a lot. I don't know how I would summarize that, but this was a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys so much for being here. I will see you guys in my next video. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. It's me again. Before we actually wrap up the video, I promised that I would share with you guys what the bookmarks came out like. So it's been a couple of days, been about a week. So I'm going to show you guys. This is the bookmark. It's basically the exact same thing. I just made two because I just know that Anthony is going to take them both. But this is what it looks like. Got some red tassels. Flip it over to the other side. And now I can officially swap out this one for this one. Yay. I love it. Anyways, that is the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you guys more than you absolutely know. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.